everyone, my name is Alan Beckham, and welcome to Company Contemplation. In this episode, we're going to be discussing Beanie Babies, a look back at the biggest fad in history. Alright, let's get started. Now I know that my viewer demographic is all over the place and nearly non-existent, but I'm just gonna assume that there's a percentage of guys who know what Beanie Babies are, a minimal one albeit, and the remaining half of you guys have heard about them, and the other half haven't. That's really great because seldom individuals are as surprised as you are about to be. Alright, Beanie Babies look like this and were filled with the same stuff that's in bean bags. You know, come to think of it, what even is in bean bags? Are beans in there? Hold on, let me just Google it. Alright, turns out they're filled with extended polystyrene, or EPS. Well, the more you know. Anyways, these Beanie Babies were filled with EPS, but not completely. They were understuffed and filled up a bit more at the edges of their limbs, arms, feet, etc. Now, typically this would have been a minus, but in this case it was a huge plus because it enabled retailers to display them in a more attractive manner. Customers liked them because they could play with them, and as aforementioned, retailers liked them because of the creative display capabilities. And, Ty Warner liked them. Wait a second, who is Ty Warner? Well, Ty Warner is actually the creator of Beanie Babies. He was a toy salesman until he got fired for trying to sell his toys alongside the company's. Yeah, as you can imagine, the company probably didn't like that, so he got fired. Anyways, after that, he went over to Italy for 3 years to hang out with some friends, which is a bit weird, but it was really good for him, because that's where he came up with Beanie Baby. He's the creator of Beanie Baby and still the owner of Beanie Baby, and he has owned 100% of the company throughout all its years, which is great for him because it means he can get all the moolah. So these things were initially intended for kids. Initially. The reason behind my emphasis on the initially part of it is because as the product got more popular, the main customers became adults, and they weren't buying them for their kids. No. They were buying them for themselves as investments. Nope, they weren't getting saving accounts or buying stocks. They were placing their money into these little stuffed toys. And you may ask, oh, how much did they cost, Alan? Well, they cost $5 in retail, which helped them out a lot because that was cheaper than the $6 for a stuffed toy, which was typical at that time. Anyways, I'm sure we can understand paying $5 for one of these. But what absolutely blows my mind and butters my croissant is the fact that in the secondary market, they were selling for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Mind blown. So how did they get so successful? Well, the success can be split into two parts, the initial success and the absolute explosion. So the initial success was the thing that got them into the spotlight and was all because of the Beanie Babies' positioning versatility, which was aforementioned. However, the second part was the explosion and was all because of this little blue elephant called Peanut. Was the name generic? Yes, but the color? Not so much. It was a deep royal blue. However, after a few months, Ty Warner, the dude who created Beanie Babies, decided to change the color from royal blue to a much lighter blue. Now, if you put two and two together, you'll understand that this means a limited supply of these elephants. And anyone can tell you that a limited thing like this one can get very valuable. And that's exactly what happened. This entire Peanut the Elephant thing getting valuable was just a side effect to Mr. Warner's perfectionism. But instead of just forgetting about it, Ty Warner had a stroke of genius. He literally just repeated it for every single toy he made. The company would release a new Beanie Baby, and then after a few months in production, they'd announce that it would be retired at the end of the month, creating a huge demand for them. Customers would literally wait hours and hours in stores to pay $5 for one of those things, and stores even started running out of inventory. I mean, who would blame them? This thing was about to get retired and never produced again. So they would actually search for the stores and had search parties to see in which stores they could find the Beanie Baby that was about to be retired. If individuals weren't lucky enough to find Beanie Babies firsthand in retail, they would hop onto eBay and start buying them for hundreds and if not thousands of dollars. Now, in case you were wondering how big they were and if they were probably just within a small community who was super rich, no, they weren't. The sales of Beanie Babies at one point accounted for 10% of all of eBay's profits. But there's also a picture of a couple dividing their Beanie Babies collection in divorce court. And they weren't just picking at them for nothing and in spite. No, these things actually held so much value that it made sense to split them up. And the thing is, unlike most fads who just abruptly come to a halt, Beanie Babies almost had a perfect end. Almost. Close to the end of the second millennium, Tide Incorporated, the company that makes them, decided that they were going to retire all the Beanie Babies. And unfortunately for them, people didn't see this as a actual retirement, because a few months later, Tide Beanie Babies decided to have the people vote on the matter. Everyone, even the people who was caught up in the fad, recognized what this was, a huge publicity stunt to keep demand high. You see, even before the announcement, the demand for Beanie Babies was declining, because it was a fad, and all fads do that. However, Tide Incorporated decided to have a last-ditch effort, which was the retirement of all Beanie Babies, to try and keep the demand high. It went on for a few more months, but their scheme didn't work out so well. The popularity obviously faded, and although Beanie Babies are still around today, they're not nearly as popular as they were before. And it should be noted that they're now called Tide's Beanie Boos for some reason. However, this situation does bring up some questions about Time Warner regarding, the ethical part. He knew perfectly well that the toys would crash, and he knew that some people would be wasting their money, but he didn't do anything to stop it. After all, he did only get the $5 from retail, not the thousands of dollars from the secondary market. However, those sales fueled his sales, so you really don't know. Anyways, ethicality aside, Time Warner became one of the richest men on planet Earth. In fact, at the peak of his success, he was worth $6 billion, and that was in 2002. Now, he's worth $2.7 billion, which is about as much as Oprah Winfrey is. So now moving on to the funner part of the video, let's look at the most expensive Beanie Babies of all time. At number 5, we have Patty the Platypus, which is as adorable as his name sounds. One of the earliest versions of Beanie Babies, he is still a hit sensation among collectors and is worth more than his weight in gold. Patty the Platypus is not as rare as you would expect, however some versions of this Beanie Baby stand out from the rest and fetch in quite a good price. The magenta color version in particular is in high demand among collectors. Why? Because the magenta color is the first and oldest version of the Beanie Baby. Besides, the color is unique and makes a cute platypus even more adorable. The magenta version of Patty the Platypus is the 5th most expensive Beanie Baby and has an asking price of $6,000. At number 4 is Claude the Crab. The only Beanie Baby with a poem dedicated to his name, Claude the Crab is among one of the most adorable and most coveted Beanie Babies. With a detailed design that resembles a real-life crab, Claude demonstrates the reason behind the Beanie Baby's popularity among kids and collectors alike. He comes in a blend of diverse colors that includes shades of dark blue, rich greens, mellow browns, and an elegant creme undershell. Although it is ranked as the 4th most expensive Beanie Baby, there is controversy about Claude the Crab's real value. He's listed for $10,000 on eBay and other online commerce platforms and has been purchased for that much. But upon confirmation, the seller put this figure at $100,000, citing typing mistakes as the reason for the confusion. Nevertheless, collectors place his value at around $10,000 because that's how much it was bought for, and it is yet to be seen whether he will reel in the $100,000. At number 3 is Valentino the Bear. Valentino the bear is almost perfect by all accounts. He's an adorable Beanie Baby that resembles a miniature adorable bear. However, unlike an ordinary bear, Valentino the bear has a good choice of color, and he comes with a blend of red and faded white for an elegant look. However, certain versions of this Beanie Baby come with an imperfection that has substantially increased its value and demand among collectors. Although an ordinary version of Valentino will go for several dollars, one with a misspelled name tag will go for $19,000. And it's actually been confirmed that this has been purchased. This spelling mistake is found in only a small portion of Valentino the bear babies, and it's what sets them apart from the rest. At number 2, we have Lefty the donkey and Righty the elephant. Combine adorable looks with insatiable demand among collectors and an autograph from one of the most notable women in global politics, and you have an incredibly expensive stuffed animal by the names of Lefty the donkey and Righty the elephant. In 2006, an avionics technician managed to get Hillary Clinton to sign these two Beanie Babies for his daughters. 10 years later, these Beanie Babies have only appreciated in demand and value. It is important to note that this version of the Beanie Babies is by no means rare, as new styles and designs were produced in 2008. However, these two units were in particular are the only ones of their kind and are consequently very hard to come by. And if you're lucky enough to see them on sale, then be prepared to dig into your pockets. Lefty the donkey and Righty the elephant are valued at $50,000, which was the asking price from their owners. Considering the value for Mrs. Clinton's autography, which is this value is expected to inflate steadily over the coming years. And it should be important to note that in 2016, this thing was actually purchased for $47,763, which is a whole lot of money. Alright, moving on to the number 1 top place is the Princess the Bear. And it's more than just another stuffed animal or Beanie Baby. It's a piece of tragic history. Produced in 1997 after the Beanie craze had just began subsiding, Princess the Bear doesn't belong among the original batch of Beanie Babies. However, it is very much a Beanie Baby and crowns the rest when it comes to looks and price. Princess the Bear was made as a tribute to Princess Diana, the Princess of Wales, who perished in a car crash, unfortunately, in 1997. It was meant to motivate Beanie Baby lovers and anyone else whose heart was so moved by this adorable stuffed bear to contribute to the Princess's Memorial Fund. It's not certain how much the money the bear managed to attract, but nevertheless, it was appropriate and adorable tribute to the princess. Princess the Bear comes in a beautiful blend of purple and white. There's no question about Princess the Bear being the best Beanie Baby in the market right now, and consequently it's very rare and pricey, especially the model with the misspelled name and with the pink flower. And that one is listed for $500,000 in eBay, which is a fair price for not only an adorable bear, but also a piece of history. Now, these prices would have been substantially bigger back in the day when Beanie Babies were super expensive. However, do keep in mind that this is right now, in 2016, when the Beanie Baby Fad has pretty much burned out. Alright, thank you so much for watching. It's been an honor having you on the show, and have a good day.